Hey, what's going on everyone? Chuckles here, and today I've got some more Overwatch gameplay for you. Today I'm going to be playing Mercy. I told you you'd be seeing a lot of the support heroes just because it's my favorite role. Probably support and then tank. So right away, we're going to push to the point. Being a capture the point map, we obviously want to control this early on, and if we can get an early capture, that would give us a huge advantage. Right away though, I can see that my team is just getting picked off one by one, and they're getting destroyed. At this point, only my D.Va is left, so I'm going to just try and keep her alive and wait for my team to regen. Now this Genji is trying to pick on me, so I can do one of two things: either try and shoot him and 1v1 him, which is unlikely but possible, or just jump around like a madman like I did, and I was able to dash to my teammate. And then we need to push on there though. We need to capture that because at this point they have it, and any time we try and capture it, that's going to continue to give them progress. So this Genji overextended by quite a large amount. We should have killed him and punished him for that, but we've yet to do that. And our team is still falling here. And I believe I'm the only healer too, with 2 different tanks and 3 DPS. So one of these guys probably should have switched to a healer. I'm glad that we have 2 solid tanks though. So here, I get Genji ulted, and it's obvious if you're a Genji, you see a Mercy in the back, that's typically the first person you go for. And unfortunately I did not have a dash. Had my tank in front of me actually stayed for an extra second, I could have dashed to him, but there's no telling if I would have actually lived or not. So I can see in the top here, Doomfish just picked up a kill. He had picked up 2 kills, so there's a good chance we can actually get this point now that we have a huge advantage. I just need to give everybody back up to full health, that way we can actually do something. Here's actually a pretty poor play. I'm trying to boost my team here and keep them alive, but I'm standing out completely in the open. And I get insta-killed from this Widowmaker who just pops out and manages to shoot me. I wanted to go down beneath, however I was concerned that if I went down there, that either I would get destroyed by their Doomfist, because he can just one-shot me with the pin, or a Genji would jump off the side. However, I died regardless, so that's what you get for pretty much hesitating. So I should have just made a decision and either backed up, or just dropped down to the bottom there. So I'm going to try and push over here and save my team. I've got my res. I'm going to basically wait to see if I actually need to use it. So there's one person down, but my team is pretty full on health, so I probably don't need to. I do hear their ult though, so I'm going to do my best to get out of here. He really doesn't get anything with it, which is huge. So D.Va's out of her mech, which is a lot of utility gone. D.Va's mech provides so much utility and so much survivability. And then as you can tell, I learned my lesson this time, so I immediately went down below because of the Widowmaker, and no one's dealing with her at this moment. What needed to happen here was that Winston, instead of pushing right, needed to push to the left side. Out of every hero that can counter Widowmaker, Winston can get in her face, kill her, and then get back out, so he needs to be the one to jump in there. There we go. And then I pick up 2 reses here, and as you can watch the kill feed here, you can see basically we just almost got a team wipe. The Reinhardt landed a nice ultimate, and then we cleaned up everything. Gonna jump back and then just regroup. Sometimes people will hold this choke for the entire game, and man, it is brutal. Other times people will let them flow through. You don't want to overextend though, because if any of you die, it makes it a lot easier for them to push through. Like as you can tell, one of our guys was still up there. I don't think he got the memo that we all fell back, because he got insta-killed. So now there's 4 of us here, and they've got a full team, and we have not killed any of them. Now I know we're going to lose. So at this point I just kind of stand there. I know that the ult's going to kill me, and if I walk out there I'm going to die as well. Being a healer, it's unfortunate sometimes, like at least a slower healer, so somebody like Anna or Mercy. They do have a little bit of utility with the dash and with the sleep dart. However, there's still a chance that somebody's going to kill you for somebody who's extremely mobile, like a Genji or a Doomfist. And here we are with round 2. So after losing the first round, I would definitely like to pick this one up. I think that our team comp in general is a pretty solid comp. We've got tons of mobility and tons of damage. My only concern is basically being able to heal all of them. So I looked at my healing numbers in between the game, and it was around 4,000. Typically when I'm playing a healer, I want to have at least, and this is my personal preference, I want to have at least 5,000 in a round for capture the points, but obviously that depends on one, you know, who you're playing as a healer, how long the round goes on for, etc. Typically 5,000 is the lowest I want to be. Sometimes I can get up to like 8,000. So somewhere in between there's usually a pretty good range for me, and that means I'm performing what I need to be. Here, Like I said, I want to keep these guys healed up, and being the only healer, I've got to do exactly that. That is my sole job as Mercy, just to heal the crap out of them and then buff them whenever I can for damage. The problem is, I'm not getting to use that damage buff because I am constantly having to heal them. So that's where having that second healer comes in, because having different healers, every healer obviously heals you as a support with the exception of Symmetra, but they also have a second utility. So Mercy, damage buff. Lucio, speed buff. Anna makes the other team not be able to heal or puts them to sleep. So that is the downfall to only running one healer. That is, if they have to constantly heal you, they don't have as much opportunity to use that utility. So you guys can see that Widowmaker on the right. My team kind of blatantly ignored her for quite a long time, and I could have pulled out my pistol and potentially killed her. But honestly, I'm pretty bad at pulling out my pistol. I do it occasionally, but I hardly ever actually 1v1 somebody in a duel. And that's probably what makes me a mediocre Mercy and not a great Mercy. It's just because I don't use that when I should. You saw that last round with the Genji and then this round with that Widowmaker there. I obviously saw her, but I just ignored her because I was trying to keep my team healed from everyone who was in front of her. And at this point, I'm actually doing a pretty solid job of healing everyone, and then also dashing between people, trying to stay alive. Whenever I see somebody like a Genji, Doomfist, or a Tracer, you can never stand in one spot. You've got to always be moving. Plus, they've got a Widowmaker, so we've got to watch out for those headshots. So there's the Tracer, and here's the problem. My whole team just left me, so I dashed across here. My dash just came back up, and I should have dashed to that Winston there because I had it available. However, I didn't do so, and that cost me my life, which is huge because being the only healer, as soon as I die, that gives the other team a gigantic edge. And I'm pretty sure they actually kill us here and then take the point, and that's probably due to me literally just dying. Had I stayed alive, we potentially could have just ended it here. And then yeah, Doomfist gets healed. I believe I jump here, and I want to say I resurrect both of these guys. Yes, I do. I'm trying to keep the Reinhardt alive because he's got the shield, but he's just taking so much damage that's impossible. And then I go in for that dash because I thought they were going to be alive, but they died before I got there. So that basically just kind of ruined it for me. That put me in a really bad situation and made it very easy for that Widowmaker and that Tracer to take care of me. So now we have to reset. So as you can see, guys, I'm spawning, and two of my members are up there with low health, and one of them dies. There was no reason for them to be up there, considering that three of us were walking back from spawn. Sometimes, not actually not sometimes, all the time, unless you've got your ult or you know you can make some crazy play, if there's only 2 or 3 of you, and the rest of your team is walking back from spawn, it's okay to give them 5 or 10% if that means you guys can regroup and push together. Especially if you're just pushing as 2 tanks. Like one of those guys pushing was a tank. Like what's a Reinhardt gonna do against 6 different people spread in different locations? Even if he has his ult, it's very unlikely that he kills all 6 of them. It's possible because I've seen some crazy good Reinhardts, but the point is you should be playing as a team and pushing as a team. Everybody has their job. You know, Reinhardt needs to keep his shield up. He needs to protect us. I need to heal these guys. That DPS needs to deal damage. But if the DPS just walks in face first with no tank, there's a chance they're basically just going to get destroyed. This was a really bad play. So you see that res there? There was only 2 of them. The entire group was there, the enemy team was, and my team was still walking back from spawn. So you want to talk about bad plays? That there was a bad play. I should have just saved that ult. There was no reason to use it because the likelihood that we actually got something out of it was very unlikely. Just because we didn't have the full support, and even with the res, we were still outnumbered. Now, obviously, if it was the end of the game and it was overtime, then it would have made sense, but in this scenario, it wasn't. This McCree here gets a pretty nice kill, so we're up a person. Now we need to push in and take advantage of that. The Winston jumps in too, so he actually overcommits. Granted, he can get back out. However, because he jumps as far in as he did, that actually gave us quite a bit of damage. We were able to put down on him. So this Doomfist here, he needs to look at that Widowmaker and the Tracer behind him. And I think he finally does. I'm just trying to stay alive here. And then try and keep this Diva in the mech. Unfortunately, I don't do that. And this Tracer is trying to get me. As soon as I jump in, I'm going to use my rest here because it's overtime. I don't get a choice. I've got to use it. And I'm doing a fairly good job staying alive, keeping everyone healed and buffed when I can. So this last play is honestly probably the best play of that round. So now we're tied 1 for 1. We've got one more round to go. Actually, I take that back. We don't have another round to go. I had forgot that when I had joined the game, it was already in progress, and one of the rounds had already been played. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and I'm sorry. I told you there was going to be another round, but there it was for Mercy. You guys will be seeing Lucio next time.
Epic. Excellent.